Hey, what's up guys, it's Migz here, and today we bring you a dueling book speed duel. Today I will be using the Royal Knights, and my opponent will be using the Amazons. So the skill I am using is the Royal Flush skill, and my opponent is using the Millennium Eye skill. So that here I pulled the trigger a little bit too fast. I had never encountered this skill before, so I don't know what it did. So what the skill does is, at the start of the duel, I show my opponent my hand, and my opponent decides if I should shuffle my hand or keep it. So here I didn't give him a chance to decide if he wanted to shuffle, because obviously I didn't know what was going on. So he's like, question mark, what are you doing? And I'm like, aren't you gonna shuffle it back? And I assumed immediately as he activated the skill that it would show the hand, but Dueling Book is a manual dueling network thing. It's not like YGO Pro where it's automatic. So here we go. So I show my hand. I have a really good hand, because if you start off with Queen's Knight and King's Knight, you know you're set. So he obviously decides to shuffle because it's a really good hand, especially with half shut. And so yeah, that's what I do here. I'm shuffling it back. Then I draw. And then what's funny here is I draw the exact same hand, except instead of half shut, I draw the Sword of Dragon Souls. So I go ahead and normal summon Queen's Knight. I activate my skill Royal Flush by paying 1,000 life points. If I control the Queen's Knight, I can gain an extra normal summon. So then I normal summon King's Knight. And King's Knight's effect is, when this card is normal summoned and I have Queen's Knight on the field, I can special summon Jack's Knight from my hand or deck, I believe. So that's the Wombo combo, and I pass. Oh, it's a shame I don't have any set spells or trap cards. So yeah, so my opponent goes. This discard was unintentional. So what I like to do when that happens is, just let it play how it lies. Like I'm gonna play like I didn't know he has that card, to make it fair, because I know there's sometimes misclicks and stuff. I don't misclick, but I do make some mistakes. So here we go. I draw Shard of Greed. In the current build of this deck, I do not have Shard of Greed. I took it out for some other stuff. I can't remember what. But here I misplay. I forget to activate Shard of Greed. And yeah, so I equip Sword of the Dragon Souls to King's Knight. And the reason I switch Queen's Knight to defense mode is because of this card right here, Windstorm of Ithaca. This just changes the battle position of all your monsters. So the other two go to defense, my Queen's Knights go to attack, and he takes 1,500 directly. And that's a common theme you will see throughout this duel, is that, he's going to leave one monster in defense mode, or I'll leave one monster in defense mode. So yeah, he summons Amazon Sage and equips it with Amazon's Heirloom. And of course activates Amazon's Village. Amazon's Village gives all Amazon monsters on his side of the field 200 attack, and when an Amazon monster is destroyed by battle, he can special summon another Amazon from his deck. And then Amazon's Sage's effect is, when it attacks, after damage calculation, it can destroy a spell or trap card on the field. And then Amazon's Heirloom reads that the monster that's equipped with cannot be destroyed by battle once per turn. And then after damage calculation, if it battled a monster, destroy the monster that it attacked. So it's really powerful. That's a really powerful combo. So I have to, here I would have got one spell counter, but what can you do for the Shard of Greed? So I set the Kunai with Chain, and his Amazon's Sage is 1,600. So I switch my King's Knight to attack mode, and then I think I'm gonna pass because I can't get over it. So. Oh, and this little token here that it has, you see the one, it should be removed, because that was just telling my opponent that I had an equipped card, but it's no longer equipped. So yeah, that's why I'm going to pass. And then he goes into his battle phase, attacks my Queen's Knight, and here I activate Kunai with Chain. So my Queen's Knight gets equipped with it, it gains 500 attack, so its attack is 2,000. And then my opponent's Amazon's Sage goes to defense mode. yeah, I'm just waiting for him to be like, yo, I'm obviously gonna switch to defense mode, because if his attack goes through, my because of Amazon's heirloom, my Queen's Knight is still gonna get destroyed. So I go next. That's one spell counter. This turn, if I would have set it 2 turns ago, I would have been able to draw 2 cards, but what are you gonna do? So I set the Windstorm, and then I proceed to attack. And then there he goes. That's like the meta trap card right now. Windstorm of Ethical. It's the best trap card in speed duels. So, you know, what can you do? So then I pass, and then his turn, obviously. Yeah, right there he just reminded me about the little token thing. So yeah, I forgot to take it off. So he switches his Sage to attack mode, summons another Sage, and here I'm in kind of trouble because, you know, my defense is weak. So I'm just waiting for him to attack and reveal my Windstorm, because again, you play 3 of those trap cards because that's the best trap card in the game. And boom, all his monsters to defense. Yep, and he passes because he can't do anything. So I draw another Queen's Knight, and then I use Shard of Greed to draw 2 more cards. So I draw a King's Knight and a Windstorm. And the reason I don't summon King's Knight is because, number 1, I only play 2 Jack's Knight in the deck, so, you know, his effect wouldn't go off, and 2, I already have 3 monsters on board. So I'd rather save the King's Knight, you know, to beat over his stronger cards. So here I leave Jack's Knight in defense mode in case he has Windstorm. So with Queen's Knight I attack his Sage with the heirloom. So see, I attack it once, it doesn't get destroyed, he lets the attack go through. Then my second attack, he activates Half Shut, making his Amazoness Sage battle immune. So immune from destruction by battle. So yeah, that's it. That's, you know, that's the thing. That's what we gotta do. And so, you know, that's all I can do. And then I pass. Now I'm trying to think here. There it is. I forgot. That's what he's gonna summon. Amazoness Swordswoman, which is the most annoying thing in the Amazon deck, and that's what it revolves around. Getting Amazoness Heirloom with Amazoness Swordswoman, because Amazoness Swordswoman states that any damage you would receive from this battle, your opponent takes it instead. So here he decides to cross with my Queen's Knight. Actually, no. I forget, his Amazoness Village gives them 200 attack, so his Amazoness Swordswoman is 1700. So I take 200 damage, and you know, that's it. So yeah, I activate Windstorm. His Sage is still gonna go into attack mode, but it's better than getting 2 monsters attacks. So what are you gonna do? You know, I can't do everything. You know, I can't win everything every time. You know, you gotta lose to learn. You gotta learn how to lose to learn how to win, is a good saying. So yeah, so then he continues his attack. Obviously his Sage is 1600, and I take 100 damage. And then he passes turn. Still gotta find a way to get rid of that Queen's Knight. And then the reason my Kunai with Chain gets destroyed is because of Sage's effect. Is that it allows him to destroy 1 face of spell or trap card that I control. So here I'm checking my graveyard to see what I have, how many Queen's Knights I've used, and the Jack's Knight I'm thinking of summoning it because 1900 is really hard to get over, and the thing that I want to get rid of ASAP is his Amazoness Swordswoman. Because again, in this deck, I don't have any type of spell and trap removal, which is what I switched the 2 Shard of Greeds for. The 2 Shard of Greeds, one I changed it for Twister, which is pay 500 life points to destroy a spell and trap card on the field, and then the other one is Wild Tornado, which is a trap card. And the Wild Tornado is I can destroy 1 face-up spell or trap card. So you know, that way I can have the variety, 1 trap and 1 spell when I need it. So yeah, that I remember now. That's what I switched the 2 Shard of Greeds for. Shard of Greed's okay because it's decent draw power, but it takes two turns is a long time in speed duels. They don't call them speed duels for nothing. So I'm still thinking, I'm still debating if I should summon Jack's Knight or King's Knight here. But I think what I decide is to summon what I summon to summon King's Knight, just to have 3 monsters on board. And then next turn I'll summon Jack's Knight. So I go into attack mode, battle phase, and I attack with King's Knight. Oh no, with Queen's Knight I attack his Amazonic Sage, so I can trigger the effect of Amazon's Village that allows him to special summon the another Amazon monster from his deck. So he's obviously going to choose Amazon's Swordswoman. So now, in retrospect, I should have attacked his Swordswoman, and then he would have summoned a Swordswoman, and then my other King's Knight would have taken care of it. But you know, what can you do? So yeah, it's 1600 defense. So it's like I can't get over it. And the only thing I have face down is half shut, I believe. So now I'm just debating if I should crash my King's Knights into the Sage, which is exactly what I do. Crash, so I attack once. My King's Knight gets destroyed. The Sage is immune, and then when I attack again, the Heirloom's effect doesn't activate. So we both get destroyed. And here, I think he's gonna try to activate the Amazoness Village effect again. But it's only once per turn. So, you know, I end my turn. Yeah, see, so here we go. See, he doesn't read the card. Always make sure to read your cards. Make sure to read your cards, because I've done plenty of mistakes where I tack into something and then they're like, oh, effect. I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, it's in the card. So if you're not unsure what the card does, your opponent always, in real life, your opponent always has to let you read their cards. So, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, even if it's a card like a card that everyone should know, they still have to let you read it, regardless of what card it is. Even if it's something like Dark Hole. Oh, what does Dark Hole do? Dude, Dark Hole destroys other cards. You can still read it, be like, I want to read it. They have to let you. So here he summons another Sage and then goes into the battle phase, and as you can see, he leaves one Amazoness Swordswoman in defense mode in case I have Windstorm of Etiqua. But I don't. So here I'm thinking about activating half shut on my Queen's Knight, because I need to keep it alive, or else he's gonna hit me directly and I would lose the game. So what happens is my Queen's Knight's attack would get halved, which would be 750, and I would take less damage than if I were to let the attacks go through. Which is exactly what, you know, you want. You want to keep your monsters on board so they don't hit you directly, because you have to remember, in speed duels, the life points are only 4,000. So the effects need to, you know, get rid of it, you know, quick. So yep, I use half shut on my Queen. Yeah, I'm just telling him there. You can see the little chat. Use half shot on my Queen, and then I take a little damage. His Sage is 1600, so I take, what is it, 850, and his Amazoness is 1700, so I take 950, 100 more. So yeah, this match, this particular match goes down to the wire. Like, as you can see, this is still game 1, and we played 2 out of 3 games. Oh, best 2 out of 3. So we're gonna end up playing 3 games here. So I draw Queen's Knight, and here I'm debating. If I summon the other Queen's Knight, I can't get it over anything. So I tribute my Queen's Knight to summon Jack's Knight, which is 1900 attack, and I decide to attack his Amazoness Sage, just to do, you know, what is it, 300 damage. 300 damage is a lot. Because if I would have attacked his Amazoness swordswoman, I would have taken the damage. And I can't afford to take the damage right now. So he's going to summon another, I think, Amazoness village is going to activate. So I'm just waiting for him to activate the Amazoness village. Okay, what are you waiting for, dude? Come on. Come on. What are you waiting for? There you go. He took the damage. Yeah, I reminded him about the 300 damage. I guess he was, distracted. He's like, oh, I know. So he summons another swordswoman. This is what you do not want. Triple swordswoman. And then if he gets the heirloom, then it's kind of over. It's kind of over if he gets the Amazoness heirloom. So he enters his battle phase. He attacks the Jax Knight. His Amazoness swordswoman gets destroyed, but I take 200 damage. And then he attacks with another swordswoman, and then I take another 200 damage. So this is gonna go down to the super wire. Like this was a really exciting match to play, just because it was so back and forth. It was never really one-sided. And then so his Amazoness woman gets destroyed. His Amazoness village triggers, and again I take another 200, and his Amazoness swordswoman is destroyed. So then he passes my turn. Here you go. I draw Polymerization. Sadly, I do not have King's Knight to fuse into Arcana Knight Joker. So I summon Queen's Knight, attack his Amazoness Chainmaster, which is enough to destroy it. Then his village will kick in. And I think he summons another Chainmaster. Yeah, he summons another Chainmaster here. Then I attack with Jax Knight, his swordswoman. So I take another 200 damage here, but I'd rather get it off the board than have him draw the heirloom and then I can't get rid of it. Because that's the biggest problem. That monster is the biggest problem. So I end my turn. He summons another Chainmaster. He can attack over the queen, which is probably what he's going to do. And then there's the heirloom. So what he also can do is attack into my Jax Knight. He'll take 300 damage, but my Jax Knight gets destroyed, but he doesn't do that. So I take 100 damage. So I'm at 300 and he's at 2100. So this is going to come down to the wire. So I draw Kunai with Chain, which is good because none of us have back row right now. So I set the Kunai with Chain, and then I attack his Amazoness Chainmaster in defense because I cannot destroy the other one because it's equipped with heirloom. So here it's destroyed, and he activates Chainmaster's effect, which allows him to see my hand, and if I have a monster, he can take one. But joke's on him, I don't have a monster, so it's kind of, he paid 1500 life points for nothing. So this helped me out entirely. This helped me out like this, that was a mistake on his part. He didn't need to pay the life points. He got a little greedy. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes you get greedy in this game and it bites you in the ass. So, what can you do? So yeah, he passes. It's my turn. Oh, it was his turn. Now it's his turn. Then it was my turn. He sets a card. Tries to attack. So to destroy my Jax Knight, he would take 300, which he can afford to. So he attacks, and then I activate my kunai. Oh, he doesn't attack. He doesn't. He thought about it, but he didn't. So now I draw Sword of the Dragon Souls, equip it to my Jax Knight. It's 2600 attack now. So it's like nothing he has can get over it. Nothing. The only thing they can get over it is the heirloom. And here I'm double checking if heirloom's destruction effect activates when he attacks or when I attack, and it's only when he attacks. But then he has Windstorm of Etiquette, so what can you do right there? That was a misclick. Ignore it. So here he goes straight into the battle phase to try to destroy my Jax Knight, but joke's on him. Kunai with Chain, and then switches his monster to defense mode. Yeah, I don't know why I have to tell him. I would think he would just assume, like, I'm not gonna let the attack go through because it's still my monster's still gonna get destroyed anyway. But in Dueling book, you have to type out what your intentions are and everything like that. So, you switch it to defense. So yeah, and then it's my turn. End phase, my turn. Draw half shut. Switch my my monster to attack mode, and then I end my turn because I cannot destroy it because of Amazon's heirloom. I need 2 monsters to attack over it. So at his turn, he goes straight into the battle phase, but I think he forgot to switch into attack mode. This is fine, like it's a casual duel, like I'm not gonna be nitpicky. But if this was in a tournament setting, I would have been like, nope, you entered the battle phase. So here's something super cool. He attacks and activates half shut on my Jack's Knight, but I activate half shut on his Chainmaster. So my Jack's Knight was 3100. So then it went to 1550. Then I chained my half shut to his Chainmaster, and it went to, what is it, 1600? It went to 800. So, you know, do the math. That's definitely more than 600 life points there. So I win. I'm a half shut, you're half shut. And I win. And this is a good match. And like this is like, this first match was like, it was probably one of the funnest speed duels I've had online because it was just so back and forth. Like it could have been anybody's game really. So I offer him the gentleman's rematch, you know, it's the rematch clause. You have to let him get a rematch, you know, his opportunity to win. So here, I don't side. So here's to take a look at the deck. The only thing different is, you know, remember I switched the 2 shards of greed for a twister and wild tornado. So I ask him if he sides. He doesn't side. We give it a gentleman's agreement, no siding. It's just the main deck. So let's go. Let's start again. And then he chooses he's gonna go first, I believe. He goes first. Yeah, he goes first. I think that's what I'm telling you. So I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for him to decide because I can't pick, obviously. So yeah, he goes first. We draw 4 cards, and then this time I remember. So I wait for his Millionaire Mai skill. So I show him my hand, and it's not very good. It's not very good at all. So he tells me keep because the only thing I can do is power up my my King's Knight, but he could just attach it to Amazon's heirloom and, you know, get rid of it, and then I'd have no monsters on the field. So it's not that great of a hand. You know, if I draw King's Knight without Queen's Knight, it's kind of like it's just a monster. It's a vanilla at that point. So he lets me keep it, and he's going first. So, you know, what's he scared? He's not scared of Kunai with Chain. So he summons Chainmaster, equips it with Heirloom. So it's indestructible 1 turn, and of course he has Amazon's Village. So my turn, I draw Windstorm. So he knows 4 of the 5 cards in my hand. So I set the 2. And I end my turn because I don't want him to destroy my King's Knight. I don't want him to destroy it. And then I have Windstorm of Etiquette, so it doesn't matter. And he summons Swordswoman. And here, again, he switched it to defense mode before. I let it slide. It's not that serious. So, you know, I activate Windstorm. In retrospect, I should have just activated Kunai with Chain just for the 1 monster and save the Windstorm, but you know, what are you gonna do? And then he attacks me for 15 directly because his Chainmaster gains 200 attack because of the swords, because of the village. So here I'm gonna go ahead and normal summon King's Knight. I'm gonna equip it with Dragon of Lost Souls, Sword of Lost Souls, Sword of Dragon Souls, and then attack his Swordswoman, but he's just gonna replace it with another Swordswoman because of Amazon's Village. So it's really annoying. And the King's Knight is 2300 attack. Okay, and then that's it. That's all I can do. Then here he draws. And then obviously he would draw like the best card to combo with Amazon's Swordswoman, which makes her indestructible. So here is the battle phase. He attacks his sword with his Swordswoman. So here I take the damage and my monster gets destroyed, but Kunai with Chain. Nope. So now my monster's 2800. Yep, not so fast. Can't do that. Defense. Not gonna let you do that. So yeah, my monster's 2800. And then he attacks with his Sage. He takes 1200. But I lose my monster. But I lose my monster. Well, he takes 11. Sorry. And then here I get a half shut, but I don't draw anything, so I lose. And then like when he gets the lock there, with the swordswoman and the heirloom, like I lose. And this duel was the reason why I decided to change the 2 Shard of Greed to Twister and Wild Tornado. So game 3, I go first, obviously, because I want to go first to do the wombo combo, and I think I get it. So obviously he's gonna do Millennium Eye. I show him, and this is exactly the first hand that I drew in the first duel. It's exactly what it is. So I'm thinking he's gonna make me shuffle it, right? Like, because I got the combo, but he lets me keep it, believe it or not. Believe it or not, he lets me keep it. See, he's like, keep. I was like, okay. So that means he must have something to get over everything that I have. So I set the half shot. I normal summon the Queen's Knight. Activate my skill. Royal Flush. Pay 1,000. Normal summon the King's Knight. Then special summon the Jack's Knight from the deck. Here we go. And there it is. As you can see, that's why I only played 2 King's Knight, because it's very bricky. There's one, like, you see 2 out of 3 duels, I started with one of them in my hand. So he summons the Swordswoman. He got the wombo combo, and it's kind of like pointless from here. So he attacks my Jack's Knight. I take 400 damage because that's Swordswoman's effect, and then Heirloom kicks in and destroys my Jack's Knight just like that. So then he passes. I get Shard of Greed. If this was a Twister or Wild Tornado, I would have been perfect. This is where I thought, damn, I need it. So here I crash into his Swordswoman just so he can destroy it, because it needs to be attacked twice. And then I attack, and then he does Windstorm. So he let me destroy my own monster because that's smart. And then when I went into for the other kill, there's nothing. And then of course he gets Amazon's Village and then Swordswoman and another one. So at this point it's kind of like fighting an uphill battle. So he attacks. I could use half shut on it, but I have nothing in my deck to out the heirloom, and I have a Jack's Knight. And then even if I did do half shut, I would have drawn Polymerization, and then that was it. So that was it, guys. Thanks for joining me on this Dueling Book Speed Duels. It's Migz signing off. Thanks again.